All right. So this is the final discussion to critique. We're going to look at some package designs starting with Roxanne. Roxanne, this is a nice, clean design. Clearly, you like the simplicity of it. Your logo evolved into this beauty image, which I think is really, really good. Just in terms of hierarchy and sort of the setup, if you think of this primary display panel as like a page layout, right? You've got it kind of like split in half. And the logo is definitely more dominant, but this is pretty strong too.
Should I make that maybe like a little smaller?
Well, what I would say is think of rule of thirds. You remember that?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So divide it into three parts, and one part might be the logo, and the other two might be the other information, or vice versa. But I would just sort of take that as a starting point to see where that leads you. In terms of color, it's very sedate right now.
Well, and that's why I struggled because I misread the directions and thought I had to use all 5 colors in my logo. And I'm like, this is really hard. And now I've used 4 colors and there are 3 of them. So now I'm like, I only have, a few colors left to use in my package. But then Omar suggested just, you can use white. So that's why I just went with white
Yeah,
for now.
white. I'm usually not a fan of white, but white for beauty products, for like a soap, I think it kind of works.
Yeah. Keeps it very simple and
Uh,
clean.
this green color, so what's your assigned color? Is it the green?
It's a little bit brighter of a green than that, like a mint color. I haven't used it yet in here.
Yeah, I would say probably you could use it in the logo, and then you could use it maybe on some of the other panels somewhere. Sometimes you can add a little something different to the handle to make it stand out. But in general, this is really good. You're in really, really good shape. So this has the sort of info. It's a cool font, but it's not great for legibility and
Right, you
info.
need
I would
something a bit
maybe
more
pull out,
user-friendly.
yeah, pull out your info level font and use that in there. And you could put the ingredients on the back. But you're in pretty good shape. Now, for the assignment, you got to have 3 options.
Okay.
So you could just put a pin in this, say that's 1, and then do that rule of thirds thing and see where that takes you, and you'll have another 2 before you know it.
Right, definitely. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome to stick around. I'm going to go through other people's work while we're still ahead of schedule, but we'll go to the top. Jabria, so you're doing oyster soap, which is another sort of Japanese soap product. So you've got this kind of lotus-like flower, which is very nice element, and way nicer than your logo. Your logo, and you should have oyster bigger, soap smaller. Now you're using the assigned color, which is a sort of pale yellow, and you put a white circle behind it. What you want to think about is, how do I orchestrate a group of colors that work together so that my logo stands out, my assigned color looks like a hero, and everything sort of works together. So right now you're sort of putting a big white circle behind it to sort of insulate it from everything else you're doing. I would think more in a more integrated way about the whole thing so that it all sort of works together better. And like I said, this item here and this one here are really nice, and they sort of overshadow your logo icon. So maybe, I mean, I hate to say swap them out, but you could do that. But you want to make sure the logo is sort of the hero. This pattern in the background, it sort of feels like video or something, or waves. I'm not really sure. It doesn't feel like it relates to a beauty product and to soap. And just strangely, because we just did mint soap with Roxanne, and you saw how the white worked so nicely as a beauty product. This, a lot of dark black and dark brown, doesn't feel very much like a beauty product to me. So, and you need to have the net weight, a descriptor line explaining what this is. ingredients, and you need to have 3 designs. So there's more to do. All right, Alexis. So this is salty dog, sea salt caramels. Now, I'm hoping that when you look at this, you realize that this is completely illegible the way you've got the type there. It's like an eye test. I mean, it's hurting me, hurting my eyes. Your logo icon and logo type should have a relationship that we outlined very clearly in week 2 in the assignment with a diagram. So review that again. You've got what looks like little wave pattern, which is an interesting element. And this wave, I really like what's going on here with this wave up here. This is going to be mostly covered up by these panels when it lays down. So maybe consider reversing that. And then to just have these 2 bars of text of pattern on either side. It's not a great effective use of that. I would maybe bring this in up from the bottom. Once you get your logo worked out, it'll help a lot. But right now, this isn't working very well. You need the net weight. You need ingredients beyond the nutritional facts. Give yourself some margin. You've got sort of like most of the elements you need to do this right, but it's just not really organized properly yet. These side images with the cubes, with the caramel, with the anchor, maybe it's just the anchor, or maybe the anchor has drips or something. It's maybe too much going on there. This Tetris grid of cubes for the logo is just not the best idea for this. So it's much more of a nautical thing, but I'm not gonna relitigate your logo. You just need to set it up so that it's at least legible, the type is legible. Christine, Thor's Coffee. So you had a logo lockup, as I remember from your identity package, that looked pretty good, but you're not really using it. So you're just using the type on the front. Consider getting your logo lockup and using that as on the front. The white, it seems like a very light pink. I don't know if it's white but yeah. So you've got this red. You're doing essentially a monochromatic palette. Consider what else you could work with the red to really give it the feeling of powerful coffee. The font is very strong, declarative font, but the colors feel, it's almost like cinnamon candy or something. You want to like figure out how to make this look a little more like coffee. And I'd say the white probably isn't working. Everywhere it's white, question that. You've got this golden color. I don't really see that being used anywhere. But think of maybe instead of a light red, this pink, you could come up with some other players to work with the red. You got 2 of 3 designs, so still going. All right, Hannah. So this is the color palette is fun. You've got sort of a puzzle thing on the back for kids, swing set snacks. I did like how your logo came out. This primary display panel feels a little more like a poster than it does like a front of a package. So your logo should be more prominent. This is more of a tagline, and maybe you have a picture of the product so it looks really appealing. When you look at kids snack products, look at the packaging and see kind of what they emphasize. Right now, this is like a really fun poster, but I wouldn't call it a package front. So think about that, and then you got to have 2 other designs. Your color palette's working. Kangua, so Sol Beso, you're just barely getting started. You've got a fairly monochromatic palette, like all orange and yellow. Consider other colors. You've got blue here. You want to think about how that whole palette works together. Right now, your logo is really hard to see because there isn't a great amount of contrast there. And you're missing a lot of elements and you still have more to do, so I understand that. But just consider how your color palette works together to create sufficient contrast so that you can see your logo. Charisse, these are really interesting sketches. So this is okay to start, you know, but you got to pull together a package design, and you got to finish that up, get 3 of them, put it in a composite, and finish it by Sunday. Okay. And Abigail, I don't know that this is different than what I saw last time. Not really. I don't know. You got 3 though. And this is old too, I think. Yeah. All right. I'm drifting backwards in time. Oh yeah, there's my my post. All right. Just briefly, when you put this together and you get your package design, you want to composite it together in a scene, you know. So if I just show you the example.
Do we have that in the link somewhere, or do we just grab that from like the internet and place our package in there?
Yes, I provided some resources for some mock-up stuff, like, you know, these kind of things. But if you see what Paula did, she took a photo. She actually, this was on campus when we had to assemble it. So she assembled it, took a picture, added a picture of cookies, added this thing of ginger. Now, this isn't the greatest compositing job, but at least she's being creative and adding elements that sort of tell the brand story. Now, I wish very much that this image went all the way to the edges of the page and filled the page. But this is what you can do. Once you get your Photoshop mockup completed, you can add any background you want. If you figure out the perspective, it's a lot of fun. And this is what we're looking for in the final image. We don't want to just see it in a stark white background. We want to see you continuing the brand story. Does that make sense, Roxanne?
Yeah, I was just trying to find where it was. Like I was looking in like my links file, like where it was like the mock-up, like other like background images, and I just didn't see them. So I was like, well, maybe is it somewhere else, like in
We're not supplying those. It's up to you to go
okay,
find some.
okay, okay, got it. You
Yeah,
just okay. All right, cool.
because it could be, you know, it's up to
It'll
you
be different for everyone.
creatively wise.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So you could have some bamboo and a Japanese garden. I mean, you can have a lot of fun with this. So,
Awesome. Thank you.
all right, that's it for today. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's final work.
I have another quick question. Sorry.
Yes, sure.
So all the information I have on there is what I need. Now, like ingredient wise, I don't remember seeing that in my creative brief. Do I just kind of make
It's
that up?
not supplied, and it really, you can just go find a soap product that's in the
Okay.
one of your competitors and sort of copy that. It's
Okay.
just to really try to make it look realistic with some copy that represents your ingredients.
Okay. And then I have the barcode, the net weight, and then like kind of like I just wrote like the secret Japanese ingredients because that's kind of what it said in the creative brief. That's all I need. I just want to make sure I have all the information on there now and then just kind of tweak it from here.
Yes, correct. You do. You know, you could add other things if you wanted to, like, you know,
Also,
certified organic and,
yeah, I seen the other instructor posted something on Slack for that, so I definitely gonna
well,
look at
there
those.
should be links to those elements in the assignment as well at
Yeah,
the
I've
bottom.
seen that too. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, Roxanne, have a great day.
Thanks. You too.
Bye.